Greetings, NPC party people. Welcome to another little blip, actually, this time. I just want to talk about how the Wild by Tension system works. The reason I'm doing this is that I've got a Kickstarter happening right now for the game of Honor Bound. Hopefully, you've been watching some of our actual playtesting to see how it's going. They're great stories, and it's been a lot of fun so far. But to the good stuff, this is how the system works. Pretty simple. In a Wild by Tension game, your character has two main parts to them when it comes to respect of rolling and figuring out your dice pools. So how it works is you each character has an attribute. In Honor Bound, there are four attributes. We've got vigor, which is your physical representation. You got wits, mental, panache, which is your charisma and emotional fortitude. And finally, mysticism, which kind of represents your ability to interact with this force type mystical energy that's out there in the cosmos. Uh, each of your attributes is going to be between 2 and 5. 5 is the highest it can go. This is your raw, like that. That's you, right? All right. Now, the other part over here is called your skill set. In Honor Bound, there are 9 skills. This is not the finalized skills. I've been playtesting this for over a year, and I just can't stop tinkering with it. It's so much fun. There might be one that I might change still, but this is pretty close to what it's going to be. Now, this is going to represent everything that you can be trained to do in this world. Command, this is your social interactions with a little bit forceful connotation. You have your charm. This is, well, it's your charm. You've got crew, this has anything to do with vessels. Dueling, this is your fighting skill. Inquiry, like your investigation. Lore, how much do you know about the world? Your intelligence, your book smarts. Skullduggery, everything you need to do for underhanded actions. Rigging, this is how to build or heal or whatnot. And then finally, Valor. This is kind of a you want to do something crazy that you're probably going to take damage from, is going to fall under Valor. Um, think of it as kind of like your base kind of saving throw if you're going to compare it to other games. So, how Wild by Tension works is that it's a dice pool system. And how you figure out what your dice pool is it's at an intersection between one of your attributes and one of your skills, and that tells you how many dice you're going to roll. I'll give a couple of examples, and if you see this little table down here, this is just a table full of examples of what you can do. So let's do something that we're good at. I think something in the adventure comes along where you need to intimidate a guard. Okay. And so what I'm going to say is like, yep, that's going to be physical. You're going to be physically imposing to them, and it's going to be command. So you're going to try and tell them what to do. You're going to intimidate them for information. 7 dice. All right. So how that part works then, you now know what your dice pool is that then we hop over here, and we're just going to roll 6-sided dice. Boom, we've rolled it. Now the game works. You roll your dice pool, and you keep 2 dice automatically. And that's what the majority of your time you're going to do. Okay. So if we just take a look at our example roll here, which is pretty darn good, we got 6 plus 5 there is 11. Boom, we have an 11. That's a pretty good roll. Now, there may be times where you need to get better than 11 or higher, like much higher, if you're all trying to pull your skills together and whatnot. How that works is that in the game there's a meta points called saga points, and you can earn those by doing something within the story, and also part of just dice rolls in and of themselves. Now, as the game master, I get what are called tension points. And that's a whole different topic, but it's a ton of fun to review. It makes this game really hum. So, with your saga points, you can spend 1 saga point to keep an additional die. You can spend as many saga points as you want to keep as many dice as you want, right? So right now you have an 11, but let's say you need to get a 20. Like it's something really, really hard to do. So you're at 11. Like, you know what? I'm going to spend 3 saga points to get a total of 21. That's a lot of saga points, but you really need to do something that was really, really hard. You needed to really intimidate this guard. Luckily, you had enough dice to be able to be in your dice pool to be able to do it. And so you succeed. The guard would then tell you the information that they need. Now, let's do something that maybe you're not so good at. Let's say you need to woo the Duke, and you're trying to woo him to maybe, I don't know, not punish an innocent person. So I think if you're trying to woo them, if you're telling me in the narrative of it, you're like, you know what? I think this is gonna be my charisma, and it's gonna be charm for sure. I'm trying to woo them, entice them into doing this for me. Well, your dice pool is two. Not great. But let's roll it, right? 2d6, and you got a 6. That's it. You can't get any better than that. Now, in the game, there are different abilities that you can spend using saga points to be able to use those abilities and whatnot, but that's for another later date. Right now, that was a terrible choice. Your character probably shouldn't have been to do the wooing, but you know what? You gave it a shot. All right. And finally, as a third example, let's say you want to sabotage a spaceport, something like with a locking system or something like that. I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good. And the way that you've described it, I'm like, well, let's take a look at, you know what? I think that this would be a good wits check and rigging, probably would be the best. Now, I set that out there, and you're like, you know what? I think the way that I'm describing it works better as a vigor in rigging because I have to know, like, I already know it, but I have to like diffusing a bomb sort of type situation. That's what I'm going to try and do. I'm like, yeah, okay, I guess I can see that. So let's give it a rigging. Like, I even might like skullduggery if you're trying to set a trap might be better too. Now, those numbers are about the same. So narratively, as far as mechanically, they'll end up the same. Narratively, though, you'll get a little bit different reaction out of it, even though you're still rolling four dice. So then you'd roll your four dice, 4d6, get to keep two automatically. You got an 8. The default number you have to beat is usually a 9. So if you have a saga point, you can spend that one saga point, get yourself to a 10, and succeed. And there you go. That's pretty much everything you need to know about how to run the Bound by Tension system. It's a lot of fun, and one of the things that I really appreciate about it is how flexible it is. There's nothing telling you that you can't do it, right? This just gives you a nice scale of what you're good at and what you're bad at. I have found this to be a lot of fun, so you get a lot of the same excitement during a fight, during defusing a bomb, or social interactions are some of my favorite using the system. So thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't checked it out, check out our Honor Bound Kickstarter going on right now. All right, everyone have a great day. Bye.